Hello, Dr. Liz. How are
Shalom Rav,
you?
how are you? Shalom Rav, how are you? Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov Umvorach. How are you doing?
Baruch Hashem, Rav. Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
Your family well?
Considering what's going on, yeah, please God, yeah, thank God. And Rav, with you, how's your son? How's your son doing?
My son, Baruch Hashem, is okay. He's in the south. He's in the Air Force. Baruch Hashem. He's happy. He's happy. That's
Wow.
all I
Well,
can say.
Rav,
More than that, I can't say.
there's no other place we would want to be. There really isn't. And we just
That's
grateful
it.
to be here. Yeah.
Absolutely. To defend the country, to defend
Yeah.
our country. Yeah. לא פשוט, לא פשוט. ממש מצב לא פשוט. If we're ever going to think for a second that the situation is simple,
It's not at all.
uh, זה בכלל לא פשוט. But what can we do? We don't have any other country.
That's so true. It's so true, Rav. And
אין לנו
yeah.
ארץ אחרת. אין לנו ארץ אחרת. You know what I'm saying? We don't have any other country.
So, Rav, I'll tell you, that I do, and I'm going to be seeing on Tuesday, Survivor, that I've been to her home. I was at her home last Thursday night, and I just saw what she was going to speak, and we discussed it. And at the end, she said to me, and I saw one of her interviews that she did with Yad Vashem, and I was just going to do one with me. Her message that she gave is that, Baruch Hashem, we've got our own country. Because she lived at a time when her father was, just because he was Jewish, he was taken from Holland on the streets of Amsterdam, walking on the streets of Amsterdam. He was a Rasia, he was taken, and he was sent to Westerbork, and he was there for a few weeks, and then they had a transport, and he was taken to Sobibor, and that was the end. And you see a picture of the father. You think just because he was Jewish, it's unbelievable. It's mamish unbelievable.
Isn't that what's happened to us now in Eretz Israel and all over the world just because we're Jewish?
It's incredible. But Rabbi, what's very hard for me is wherever I go. I went to the printers this morning, so I'm very friendly with like the guy who's involved. He's Israeli, and he said to me, "What is happening with your country?" Because they all know that I'm South African. People here cannot understand how the Chief Justice of South Africa is involved in demonizing Israel, because that's what it is, and delegitimizing Israel, and giving this accusation that we're committing genocide. There can be no worse accusation, nothing worse. And I might as well just start, but I'll just mention something now. Surprisingly, and I think it's quite an amazing development, Germany has said that they are prepared to stand with Israel, and they've come aboard and said we will defend Israel in the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. And guess who's come out against Germany? Namibia. Namibia condemns Germany's position that they want to defend Israel. I mean, how many Yidden are there in Namibia? In Gansen, It's just unbelievable. But
the reason why I think they are coming out because Germany during the time of the First World War did genocide to the Herreros and Numbers. So Germany knows very well what it is.
Yeah,
but
so
now
Stephen, even more so, Germany are the main culprits of genocide, and they're saying that Israel is not. So they are the ones that are defending us, which is incredible. But you've got it's totally, and because I think Namibia is so dependent on South Africa, so I'm sure South Africa told Namibia to lodge a complaint.
Could very well be. But it's strange how Hashem works things. Yeah, because Germany used to be our sworn enemy, and now it's just
it is quite it's quite incredible, actually. It is quite unbelievable because it's quite a bold move that Germany's made. And I must just mention, Rav, it's something so sad. I just saw this on the latest, I think it's either Times of Israel or Ynet, that the hostages that have been freed They're finding that many of the girls are pregnant now, and they'll need to abort. And 2 of the hostages are hospitalized, and 54 of the hostages are undergoing psychiatric treatment. So it's not pashut at all, even those that have been released. So, and then they say that they have located the leader of Hamas, Sinwar, but he surrounded himself with all the hostages. Look at the evilness. So if Israel wants to take him out, they'll have to like take out the hostages as well. But you know, and in Tel Aviv last night there was 120,000 that you know, demonstrated to have the hostages released, that they should come home. And now we're entering the 100th day of this conflict, the 100th day. And our biggest worry here is that that our soldiers should come back and that we should just capture the hostages, but it's in a very difficult position. And now the latest, unfortunately, the sad news, what happened today on the northern border, where you've got Hezbollah, and we know that they've got tunnels and they've got precision missiles. So they fired an anti-tank missile that in Kfar Yoval, and unfortunately it killed Barak Ayalon and his 75-year-old mother, Miri. So they were killed by this anti-tank missile from Hezbollah in the north. But you know, I must just mention that the will of the people here is so determined, and I know we just have to be strong and persevere. And when I speak to the survivors, and I've been very blessed to speak to quite a few, and I'll be speaking on Tuesday again. And I met somebody last Tuesday, a professor who started engineering at Bar Ilan. He was a professor. They left Germany and they were in Switzerland, and they had to leave Switzerland because they didn't have a proper visa. So the parents had to be separated for 10 years. And he became a professor in Zurich, and he was asked to become the professor at Bar Ilan for engineering. He was the first head of the department in Bar Ilan. And he's in his 90s. And he said, you know, his message was that we need a strong Israel. And thank God we have got an Israel, because he remembers when there was no Israel and there was nowhere to go. Imagine having your parents separated for 10 years. He's lucky that his parents like survived, that they weren't, you know, deported. But he had parents that he hadn't seen his father. When they saw the father, asked, how was that interaction when you were reconnected with your father? And he said he was like a stranger. They had a few occasional letters. The father had no money to travel there. And so Baruch Hashem, but we have to really be so grateful to Hashem that we have got our own country, and it's the only country, like you said, Rav, it's the only country we have. So, and it's the country that Hashem promised us. So we have to really, really, we have to be grateful that Hashem has given us this country. And Rashi said in Bereshis that the whole world will say that the country doesn't belong to you. In the very first Bereshis. But Rabbi, I must just mention the second perek in Tehillim, and says there really that those nations that come against Israel will be destroyed. And just like you said last week, and it's true, all the major empires that have come against us, the Romans, the Greeks, you know, the Phoenicians, where are they? We are all these great empires, but we're still around. So in South Africa, you know, the ANC, they're not going to be around for too long, hopefully, and they will also disappear one day. Yeah.
Bezrat Hashem. Shkoch, Dr. Les, thank you very much for the update. As usual, thank you very much. Very interesting. Rabotai, as I mentioned, that we're going to speak tonight about the 6 planets. That means what there is in a 6th planet, what is it telling us, how does that fit with our time, Be'ezrat Hashem. We'll explain it also, and then we'll speak about the children of Ishmael. But first, I would like to dedicate the shiur in the soul of Esther Kaden Bat Ketzia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav Avraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar Bat Zehava Yaakov Salomon ben Farhat Dvorah Ruth Bat Beila, Eitan ben Keren ve'Avishai Na'eh, Malka Regina Bat Joya ve'Keti Gurgia Bat Farhat. Please God, Nishmatam Tiyet Tzrura Betzur HaHaim. Also, I would like to dedicate the shiur in the health of Menashe Naji ben Farha, Liora bat Miriam, Moshe, Arav Moshe ben Bayabatia, Arav Moshe ben Devora, Arav Abraham ben Marina, Arav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Dvora bat Esther, Sheina Keila bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Haim Nahum ben Pesa Reza Kohen, Ahuva Kaden bat Tali Esther, Baruch ben Sarah Hiena, Tzvi ben Hava, Yosef Haim Yonatan ben Iris, Pesach Yitzhak ben Ela, Haya Tzipora bat Rachel, Ayala Eden bat Rivka, Tova Liba bat Rachel, Velea bat Rachel. Please God, refuah shlema to them
Also,
and
can you,
all the Israeli
Rav,
soldiers
also can you
that
order,
injured.
also Rav, can you order also Rabbi Perez's son, Daniel Shimon ben Sharon? He's
Daniel
captured and he's
Shimon
defended
ben Shalom.
in
Please
Sharon.
God, refuah shlema. לכל חולי ופצועי עמו בית ישראל. Okay, and that show also going to be for the guardians, please, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will protect all the soldier in Eretz Israel, all the member of the security and the defense forces of Eretz Israel. So, Rabotai, tonight we're going to speak about what we're experiencing at the moment in Eretz Israel for the last 100 days, what we're experiencing all over the world. When I say all over the world, I don't mean only South Africa, because many of you intend to think it's only in South Africa. No, that's a very difficult period that's called Havle Mashiach, the time before the Mashiach come. And if we look what we see today, it's time that the Zohar tell us, and today most of the shiur, most of the sources you'll see going to come from the Zohar, and I'm going to bring the commentary. But we have to understand what we're experiencing today in Eretz Israel, in Africa, in Europe, in America, in Australia, basically all over the world. Hazal already told us about it 2,500 years ago. Hazal told us in a book that's called the Zohar HaKadosh. Zohar HaKadosh is edited by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, okay, that lived during the time of the destruction of the Second Temple. Okay, the Zohar HaKadosh have few commentaries on it, just to give you background. One of the commentary that's called Hasulam, the commentary of the Sulam. Sulam is a step ladder. Okay, that commentary been written by Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag. Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag Halevi, that's his name. And he born in the city of Lublin in Poland around 144 years ago. And Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag explained to us that actually, and revealed to us and explained to us what's happening and how the Zohar HaKadosh, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, saw it all, what's going to happen. And say Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in his book, the Zohar HaKadosh, on Parashat Va'era that we read yesterday. Listen to that in page Resh Dalet, that means 204, on a word that's called Zimnin Bnei Ishmael. There he explained what's going to happen and the chorus that we're going to have with the children of Ishmael. In Parashat Bo, Rabotai, Parashat Bo, that we're going to read this coming Shabbos, in page 32, folio 1, there the Zohar HaKadosh says something very interesting, and he explained what's going to happen in the time before the Mashiach comes. And listen what he said. The Sulam explain it. I'm going to read it in Hebrew, not in Aramaic, and then I will translate it. Ve'atidim, Bnei Ishmael, the children of Ishmael, לעשות, לעורר מלחמות גדולות. That means that the children of Ishmael will make great wars ba'olam, in the world, all over the world. What it means in the world, we will explain now. ויתאספו, Bnei Edom, the children of Edom, will explain soon who we're referring to. Okay? Alehem, they're going to make a coalition. ויערכו עמהם מלחמה אחת על הים, אחת על היבשה, ואחת סמוך לירושלים. Okay? וימשלו אלו על אלו. It's going to be a war that's not going to finish so quickly. Some of it's going to be controlled by Bnei Edom, some of it's going to be controlled by Bnei Ishmael. Okay? וארץ הקודש לא תימסר לבני אדום. And the land of Eretz Israel not going to be given to the children of Edom. Until here, Rabotai, that's the Zohar HaKadosh. Now, I would like to explain it because not all of you understand proper Hebrew, and I would like to go step by it to explain it. Ve'atidim b'nei Ishmael, which means it will be a time. The Zohar already telling us 2,500 years ago. It will be a time that the children of Ishmael, okay, they will make war in the world. They're going to create havoc in the world. Havoc, okay? And then it's going to be a coalition. War in the world. Where do we see it? Rabota, where we don't see, where the children of Ishmael doesn't cause problem. Everywhere. There's no one country that there is peace with them. And then it said, listen what it said. V'yit'asfu b'nei Edom, the children of Edom, that means the Christian people, the Christian countries, going to make a coalition like we're seeing now, that United States, Britain, Germany, Australia getting together and they're striking in the Red Sea. They're striking Yemen. Okay, that's just the beginning. Yes, this is just the beginning, the tip on the top. Not only that, we see that there is a coalition that formed to try to weaken Iran. That's Bnei Ishmael. Okay? And he said that they're going to fight once against each other. And the way that they're going to fight in the sea. We see that they're fighting in the sea, in the Red Sea. They're fighting by Yabasha in Iraq. We see that the Muslim militant attacking, the extreme Muslim attacking the American bases in Iraq, in that part of the world. That means that more northeast of Eretz Israel, just to give you an idea about the map. And it said that they're going to make 3 wars, and also close to Jerusalem. Where do we see close to Jerusalem? We see that in the north of Israel, we have the Hezbollah. In the south of Israel, we have Hamas, ISIS. Okay? In the north, we still have Syria. Inside Eretz Israel, close to Jerusalem, it said that he said there, close to Jerusalem, Samuch Yerushalayim, we see Jenin, we see Nablus, Samaria, all of those areas, Jericho, all of that area that they're trying to cause havoc. So the Zohar HaKadosh tell us that. And then the Zohar tell us, Ve'eretz HaKodesh, that the Holy Land, lo timaser lebnei Edom. That means that the children of Edom not going to have any control over that country. So what's going to happen with Bnei Ishmael? Are they going to have control? So the Mefarshim explain that Bnei Edom going to have control for a short while. Why? The Mefarshim explain for the simple reason. Because the children of Ishmael done a Brit Milah. When did he done a Brit Milah? In the age of 13, as we know. Because Abraham Avinu was in the age of 99. Ishmael was in the age of 13. Okay, because he had Ishmael in the age of 86. But because Ishmael didn't done Pri'ah, he done just Brit Milah, he have not gonna have a settlement in Eretz Israel. He have a control for a while, but that's control gonna be taken from him. That's how the Zohar HaKadosh explains. But the Zohar HaKadosh in Parashat Truma, in page 172, folio 2, already telling us when is that going to happen and how's it going to happen. I really suggest to those of you that have the Zohar HaKadosh, if with the commentary, okay, that because to read it in Aramaic is very difficult. I battle with that. Not that I'm something special, but it's really difficult to understand. You need commentary to understand that. You have a Zohar Kadosh with English commentary or Hebrew commentary. Hebrew commentary, there's plenty, I know. He's speaking about all of this. Parashat Bo, like we say. Parashat Vayera first, Parashat Bo, and then Parashat Truma. Parashat Truma in page 172, folio 2. Listen what the Zohar tells us. The Zohar revealed to us that there is in the world 7 planets. That means 2,500 years ago. In heaven, there is 7 planets. The 6th planet, okay, called the planet Kochav Noga, the planet of Venus, okay? That planet, okay, the Zohar HaKadosh said that that's going to happen in a time that he's going to be, when the 6th planet going to be in control, it's going to be just before the Mashiach comes. That's mean close to the 6,000 years from the creation. Just before the 6,000 years from the creation, the planet of Venus going to enter into action. It's going to come in. Inside the planet of Venus, there is a star. That star called, listen to that, Gizron. That star inside the planet of Venus, because there is different stars that appearing inside the planet. There is one star that called Gizron. Why they call it Gizron? Ask the Zohar HaKadosh, the Mefarshim explain, Gizron milshon gzera, decree. That means on a time before the Mashiach come, just before the Mashiach come, the starlight of Gizron going to be in charge. It's going to be in the world. And going to be a lot of the trees in the world. There is no one day, Rabotai, that we don't hear bad news. There is no one day that finished and before that we didn't hear bad news. If it's not Soros, Rabotai, in Eretz Israel, in the south, Hezbollah starting to attack. Today, 2 people, 2 innocent civilians being killed. If it's not from there, we have Syria. If not Syria, okay, we have the extreme Houthis in Yemen. If not them, we have Iran. If that's not enough for us, inside Eretz Israel, Bnei Ishmael causing havoc. Where they don't cause havoc. That means that every day, new trouble gonna come. Mishon Gzera, a new decree gonna come to the world. Okay? The Zohar continue and say, when is that gonna happen? Samuch li'imot HaMashiach. Close, just before the Mashiach gonna come, Yishlot oto halon. That means that starlight that we call it Gizron, in a planet of Venus, he's going to be in control. And he said there, Bnei Ishmael, okay, they now, he called them. Listen what he said. And he said like this, that during that time, He called those tzoros hayot ra'ot, wild or whatever you call it, beast animal, wild animal, I don't know how to exactly. על כן חיות רעות ישלטו בעולם. That means that wild beasts are going to be in control in the world. ויתחדשו מינים רבים. It will be many different kind of animal. That means wild beasts. Who is he referring to, Rabotai? He's referring to Hamas, the Hezbollah, ISIS, the Islamic Jihad, all the different of those Houthis, okay, all of those that we hear, all these new names that we never heard about them before. וישראל יהיו בצרה. And the Jewish people will be in a big problem. וזה יהיה זמן החושך, הגלות. That's going to be the time of the darkness of the galus. What does it mean? He said to us that that's going to be the time of darkness. What does it mean, darkness? The darkness that we're not going to understand what's happening. The darkness that we're not going to believe what we're going to see. The darkness that everything going to be upside down. Why? Chazal explained in, if I'm not mistaken, in Parashat Vayishlach, in the Zohar, Chazal explained that the last test that Parashat Bo. Chazal explained that the last test that's going to be, it's going to be the 50 levels of Tumah. When the children of Israel was in Egypt, they reached the 49 level of Tumah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu immediately take them. Why? Because if they would reach to the 50th level, HaKadosh Baruch Hu couldn't redeem them. What is that 50th level? Said the Zohar, Sha'ar HaEmunah. Sha'ar HaEmunah. Said the Zohar HaKadosh, that Sha'ar HaEmunah, that's going to be the last test that Bnei Israel going to be. That's going to be very difficult. And say the Zohar HaKadosh, before the Mashiach come, just before the redemption going to come, Bnei Israel yikansu l'sha'ar ha'hamishim. That means the children of Israel, said the Zohar, will enter that tarlak, the impurity of the 50th gate of impurity. And what is it called? Emunah. So said the Mefarshim, I don't understand. In Egypt, HaKadosh Baruch Hu immediately took them. Now, before the Mashiach come, we're going to enter? Yes. Say Hazal like this. Say Hazal, you know why? Because you received the Torah. You have the tools. Before that, Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, didn't have Torah. They didn't know how to deal with the situation. Today that we have the Torah, we can deal with the situation. Until here, the Zohar HaKadosh. Let's continue. What did he say? Now I'm going to explain the Zohar. Now I'm going to continue. And it says like this. וזה יהיה בזמן חושך הגלות. And that's going to be during the darkness, the time of darkness and the galut. That means the confusion that we see today in the world. ולפתע, and suddenly, הקדוש ברוך הוא יאיר לישראל אור יום. And suddenly, HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to make it all clear. That means that the Jewish people suddenly going to be like a light. ויקבלו all מלכות הקודש. And suddenly the Jewish, from all of these chores, from all of this confusion, from all of those difficulty, going to start to accept HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means they're going to accept the oak of heaven on themselves. And then he said, ואז תתבטל המלכות. And then it's going to be the time that the strength of Bnei Ishmael, they're going to lose it. Not only them, ומשאר העמים. the rest of the nation, שהם עובדי אלילים, that they're either worshippers, וישראל ישלטו בעמים, and Israel going to be in control of all the world, the Jewish nation. ואז, and then, יתקיים. It's going to be what the prophet Yeshayahu said in chapter 30, verse 26. And we say it when we do Birkat HaLevana. Okay? What did we say? V'haya or HaLevana ke'or HaMah. What does it mean? And the strength of the light of the Levana, that's the moon, going to be as strong as the sun. That means as much that we see during the day, because it's a daylight, the strength of the moon going to be so strong that we can see everything. That means that then all the world, include the children of Israel, will see exactly and will understand exactly what's happening in the world and who's in control. That means if you look, Rabotai, what we're experiencing now, that every day we have chorus and more chorus, and the darkness, that means the confusion that we have in the world, we don't understand. Chazal already told us that before the Mashiach come, Hayoker Ya'amir, everything going to be expensive, that you're going to have plenty wine, but it's going to be very expensive. Not the children, not going to respect the adult, chutzpah yasge, it's going to be chutzpah, cheekiness in the world beyond understanding. Not only that, what we see, what the children of Ishmael causing in the world, okay? And we have to understand that we can't do nothing. It's not in our hand. What we can do, we'll explain now. That means, Rabotai, that we entered now to the star of Gizron. That means that the star of Gizron, what we're seeing now, is starting to operate. That there is decrees on the world. We're already inside what's happening, what the Zohar tell us. Okay, what's happening in the world. But we have to understand that Hazal already given us a tool how to deal with that. Hazal telling us how to deal with that. Hazal in a Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, Tzadik Het Amud Bet, that means Tzadik 98, folio 2. Hazal say like this, that how you can survive all of this situation, all of this trouble, anti-Semitism, terrorism, whatever you want to call it. Terrorism in Eretz Israel, terrorism in the world, anti-Semitism, all over the world against the Jewish people. How are we going to survive it? Say Hazal in the Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin, Rabotai 98, 2, folio 2. Rabotai, it's worth to read that Mishnah there. מה יעשה אדם וינצל מחבלו של משיח? What a person can do to survive those difficult times that call חבלי Mashiach, the pain birth of the Mashiach. What can a person do? say Hazal, יעסוק בתורה ובגמילות חסדים. The only answer to survive that, to learn Torah and to do kindness in the world. To learn Torah, everyone understand. To keep the mitzvot, to study Torah. What it means, gemilut hasadim, and to do kindness. Kindness have two interpretations that we can interpret. Number one, chesed, kindness. But another chesed is that we should live in unity and peace, one with each other. So if we have these three tools in our hand, that's when the Mashiach is going to come. And that's how we're going to survive those difficult times. That means people that study Torah, people that do more kindness one with each other. Okay, helping a friend, helping a Jew. That's what's very important. instead of looking for points. Leave the points aside now. We have enough enemies. Let's get united. And you don't have to agree with my opinion, not at all. But let's respect each other. That's the time that we live in. And that planet called Venus. And that's what we call it, a Halon HaShishi. What it means, a Halon HaShishi? The sixth window. Inside the sixth window, there is a starlight that's called Gizron. It's a time there's going to be a lot of Gezerot in the world. A lot of decree all over the world. The decree on the Jewish people. Decree on the nation of the world. That means that the time that we are now, it's the time before Bi'at HaMashiach, before the coming of the Mashiach. How long will it take? I'm not a prophet, I can't tell. Because the Zohar there doesn't reveal to us the time. And Hazal say, Yipach ruham shel mehashvei kitzim. Those that trying to calculate when the Mashiach come, that they should lose their soul. Why? Because many people that try to calculate the time, and then the Mashiach didn't come, people lose their faith. Instead of calculating when it's going to come, let's find the medication. Let's give, okay, the injection. What is the injection? Say Hazal in Masechet Sanhedrin 98 folio 2, I repeat. מה יעשה אדם וינצל מחבלו של משיח? What is the medicine to survive those difficult times? יעסוק בתורה ובגמילות חסדים. יעסוק בתורה. Keep the mitzvot, learn Torah, גמילות חסדים, kindness. Help other people, respect other people. That's about our time. Now, I would like to explain about Ishmael. Who's Ishmael? We all the time hear Ishmael, Ishmael, Ishmael. So we know that Ishmael was the son of Hagar and Avraham Avinu. That's what we know about him. And the Torah tells us there, V'hu Pere Adam. We'll explain what is mean Pere Adam. Okay, wild man. And we'll see what the Malbin asked there will explain. But first of all, let's see what Hazal in a Gemara in Masechet Sukkah, page 52, folio 2, tell us. Listen, it's a very interesting Gemara. It's just few pages before the end of the Masechet, before the end of the Gemara. Hazal say like this: Arba'a. There is 4 things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu regrets that he create. But he have to create them. And look what it says. Ve'eluhem. The first one is Galut, exile. The second one, the nation of Kasdim. The nation of Kasdim already finished. They not exist anymore. The third one, Ishmaelim, the children of Ishmael, the Ishmaelites. And the fourth one is Yetzer Hara. Now, all of you are going to say, wait a minute. Oh, what, did HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a mistake that he created? What if the creation is not perfect? Chas v'shalom to think like this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he say he regrets that he created, not chas v'shalom that he created them by mistake. He created them on purpose. Why? And we explain it from the name Ishmael. You're going to explain it now. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu created those 4, there was only for the benefit of the Jewish people. What it means for the benefit of the Jewish people. Let's take the name Ishmael. Ishmael, let's split the name to 2. Ishma is listen. El, Almighty. The Almighty will listen. As a matter of fact, Hazal say it's a beautiful name. So why you regret that you create them? Say the Hazal, ask the question. Say Hazal, Kadosh Baruch Hu knew that Ishmael is a Pere Adam. Yato bakol v'yat kol bo. We'll explain that now. Chazal explained something very interesting. Chazal said that Ishmael is actually the essence of Ishmael is to wake us up. That in the end of days, like we explained what's happening now, the children of Ishmael are going to be in control in Eretz Israel, like we see now. Israel without the Ishmaelites can't do nothing. As a matter of fact, they dictate to us. That we're fighting, defending ourselves, it's yes. We feel that we're free. Can we go to Rabbi? Can I go to Nablus? Can I go to Bethlehem? Can I go to Jericho? It's all Eretz Israel. Can I go to Samaria? I can't. Let's be honest about. To drive to Hebron. Hebron, Rabotai. Avraham Abinu bought it from Ephron ב-400 shekel over לסוחר. Can we go to Hebron? Without bulletproof car, without military protection. Who can do that? Who can do that? And that's in Eretz Israel. All of that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us that's going to be. When I was a child, in the age of 18, I used to go to Bethlehem, inside Jericho. I gone to Nablus. I remember I gone to Hebron, no problem. Driving, no more car, no more bus. I gone to, Samaria, no problem. Today, you dare to do that. The army afraid to go there. The army with all the protection. The army with all the protection afraid to go. So we want to go. But Hazal already telling us something very interesting. Hazal telling us when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Ishmael, he created it for us. He created that he's going to cause sorrows to the Jewish people, that until the Jewish people can't take anymore that situation, וירימו עיניים לאביהם שבשמיים ויצעקו. They're going to lift up their eyes to heaven and they're going to cry. And then Ishmael, and then the Almighty going to listen and he's going to redeem us. That means we can shorten all of that journey if we do, like Hazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin 98, folio 2, that if we're going to be busy studying Torah, v'gmilut hasadim, it's going to end. But instead, we're fighting among ourselves. And they asked those people in Hamas, why did you decide Dafka now? They said, we saw that you divided. To your own religious, you don't believe. And what did they call that war? The war in the name of Allah. Allah in Arabic is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The war in the name of Hashem. They're fighting a religious war, they call it. Okay? That's what we have to understand, what Hazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Sukkah. Okay? That Arba'a HaKadosh Baruch Hu mithavet shebera'am. There is 4 that HaKadosh Baruch Hu regret that he created. That in page, just to remind you, Nun Bet Amud Bet, that means 52, folio 2. One of them is Ishmael. Then we say Kasdim. We know the chorus that the Kasdim done to them. The exile. Exile, we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu put us in exile. But you think HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to put us in exile? No. But because we was naughty, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put us in exile. Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, that we have to fight it to do mitzvot. Because in the time of Adam HaRishon, we sinned. And then when we stood in Mount Sinai, that Yetzer Hara disappear, but because we sinned in Chet HaEgel, לא עלינו came again. Now, who's Ishmael? So the Torah tells us in Parashat Lech Lecha in Sefer Bereshit, in chapter 16, verse 12. The Torah tells us like this, Vehu Pere Adam. It's speaking about Ishmael, that he's a wild man. There is a commentary that's called the Malbim. Malbim is Rabbi Meir Lebush ben Yehiel Michael Weiser. He born in the Ukraine around 215 years ago. We brought his commentary also once on the book of Yehezkel, what's going to happen in the end of days. Remember that we make a shiur about the end of days from the book of Yehezkel. And he explained, what does it mean, Pere Adam? Because he asked like this. He said, if you tell me Pere is a wild, so how a person that is wild can be Adam, a human being? If you're a human being, you can't be wild. And if you're wild, you can't be a human being. It's contradict each other. That's the question of the Malbim. The Malbim explain, I'll tell you something different about Ishmael. And he say like this, the Torah call him first Adam, Pere Adam. Adam, it means that a person behave normally. That means that he have social rules, let's call it. They said the Malbim, that's one of the character trait of Ishmael. That towards the world, he can act like a human being. He can behave, he can pretend. And we saw it, that when they released the hostages, they actually given them a medication to calm them down, to make them happy, to show the world like they human being. You know, normal human being. They know how to pretend. They know how to cry. But from the other way, you have to understand that they have another character trait. What is Ishmael? He have the character trait of wildness. What it means, wildness? As you all heard, don't know how many of you saw all of those videos. I tried to avoid them because they was horrible. How they rape, how they cut organs, how they shot people, how they burn people alive, what they done to babies, put them in a cage with dogs, with chicken, with animals, babies. How they treated unhuman, just unhuman. Say the Malbim. You have to understand. These two character traits can be only in Ishmael. Even the Nazi that done it, they didn't reach to that kind of cruelty. The cruelty that you'll see in the children of Ishmael, it's beyond understanding. The cruelty that Ishmael had, that means that all of his essence is a war and fighting. That's Ishmael. What does it say in the Torah? That Roveh Kashat, that he gonna be a bow and arrow, Roveh Kashat. He gonna fight, he love to fight. His essence in the world is fighting. Take any nation that get rid of those Ishmaelim, where did they come? Why they don't want them? Did you ask yourself why Egypt doesn't want those people if their own brothers, their own nation? Did Eretz Israel never took a Jew, refused to take a Jew? Did you ever hear about it? Did you hear any other Muslim country that's willing to accept those refugees? No, because they know what's their essence. They're part of them. Who accepted them? The Jews. The Jews accepted them in a 6-day war. I'm saying it and I'm eating my heart. Who else accepted them? Europe. Look what we have today in Europe. You can't walk in Europe with a young. Okay? Another thing that say the Malbim about them, that the ungrateful people. Rabotai, the Jewish people in Eretz Israel say, we're going to help those Gazian. Let them come work for us. It was a woman that tried to send every time medical supply to Gaza. They tried to send education stuff to Gaza. Those workers given all, they done intelligent work and then pass it to the Hamas. And that's the Hamas knew where to attack. Yahya Sinwar, that was behind all of that attack, him and his crew. Yahya Sinwar in 2011 was sitting in a jail for 3 life sentences. He'd been released in a Skachalit. When he was in a jail, they find that he had a tumor in the brain. He'd been operated in Hadassah in Kare. That saved his life. They took the tumor from his brain. How did he pay us back? What thank you did he say? Said the Malbim, Rabotai, the Malbim didn't live in our time. The Malbim didn't live in our time. The Malbim lived 215 years ago. He said they're ungrateful people. And Sarai Menu, when she saw Ishmael metzahek, what it means metzahek? Playing, laughing. Itzhak, the essence of Itzhak is to laugh. The essence of metzahek, it's pretending to laugh. Say Hazal like this. Sarai Menu already saw the essence of Ishmael. He pretended that he played with Yitzhak, but he tried to kill him. He pretended that that's his brother, but deep inside he wanted to kill him. And then Sarah said to Abraham Avinu, Garesh et ben ha'ama hazot. Get rid of this maid servant, son. Get rid of him. Abraham Avinu didn't. הקדוש ברוך הוא said to Abraham, כל אשר תאמר לך שרה שמע בקולה. Whatever Sarah say to you, listen to her. Hazal say that Sarah already saw the essence of Ishmael. Metzahek. What it means, metzahek? Pretending. That's what he do today in the world. He pretends that he's a nice. He pretends that he's looking after the prisoner. Why don't say, look how he mislead the world. Look how darkness there is in the world. That they can't see. Not only that, Rabotai, where is it come, all of that? Where is it come? Where is it come? We have to understand. How do we learn that they're ungrateful? Where does he get that ungrateful character trait? Said that the Mefarshim like this. Sarai Menu, when she saw that she cannot have kids from Avraham Avinu, she felt sad for her husband. She took her maidservant and she given it to her husband, Avraham Avinu. Which woman will allow the husband to take another woman? Sarai Menu done it just for the sake of that Avraham will have child. Instead, what's happened? Instead of Hagar gonna respect Sarai Menu, ותזלזל בשרה. That means that she started to unrespect her. Instead of showing gratitude, listen, I made from you from a servant maid. I made from you, I looked you up. I made from you a human being. What did she say? She actually looked at Sarai Menu like second grade, ungrateful. Now we can understand where is that situation or where is that character trait come from the mother, Ishmael. Instead of showing gratitude and honoring and respecting Sarai Menu, what does she do? Exactly the opposite. What is done Yahya Sinwar? Instead of saying thank you, showing gratitude that we saved your life, you killed 1,300 people brutally, murder, raped, burned them alive, annihilate bodies, shot people in the front of their kids, in the front of their parents, slaughtered people, burned houses, burned people alive. Ungrateful. But Rabotai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu hate ungrateful people. Where do we see that? We see that in this parasha. Parashat Vayera that we read on Shabbos was 7 plagues. The first 3 plagues, who brought them? Aharon HaKohen, not Moshe. Why? Because Moshe benefited from the liquid. Moshe benefited from the sand when he buried the Egyptian. He benefited from the liquid that when he was a little boy, he been put in a parcel, in an ark, and that saved his life. Moshe Rabbeinu showed gratitude to what? To something that doesn't speak, doesn't eat. That's mean domain. Not a human being. HaKadosh Baruch Hu hate ungrateful. So we have to understand that what we're seeing now is a situation to wake us up. It's a situation that to understand that the time that we are now is the birth of the Mashiach. Moshe Rabbeinu, what difference does it make if you make lice that crawl on the ground? No, Moshe Rabbeinu, when he killed the Egyptian, he buried him in the sand. He said, the sand was good to me, I can't harm him. What difference does it make if you turn water to blood? No, I've been saved by the water. The plague of Tzfardea. Tzfardea is the animal that live in the water. Common. I have to show gratitude. Pere Adam, it's exactly the opposite. A wild man. No gratitude. He can pretend that he's a human being, but he's not. He's wild. So the only answer that we have, Rabotai, to survive those difficult times now. Now I'm going to summarize everything because we have 3 minutes, because I try to stick to an hour. I don't want to take more than an hour the show. So we have to understand, number one, we are already in a 6th planet that called Venus. We are in a starlack of Venus that called Gizron. There is a starlack that called Gizron, Milshon Gzera, a decree. As we proved from the Zohar, we brought all the sources. We are in that situation that called Hevle Mashiach, the pain burst of the Mashiach. Not only that we in a pain burst of Mashiach, we are towards the end. I hope that it's going to end up soon, very quickly, with no more casualty. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a son of a prophet. I can read and tell you like a parrot what Hazal tell us in the Zohar, what the commentary say. To tell you exactly when the Mashiach comes, no one will tell you. Those that know they don't talk about it. Those that talk about it, you know that they don't know. That's for sure. Hazal tell us. But one thing we know, we in a situation now. We in a situation that we are facing difficulties with the Ishmaelites, the children of Ishmael. How do we overcome it? We have to remember, Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, in page 98, folio 2. Listen what Hazal say. Yate velo yahmene. Yate, it means that when the Mashiach come, velo yahmene. I don't want to be there. Our sages that lived 2,500 years ago, 2,500 years ago, that was a sage. If mentioned their name on the Gemara, that means that was mehayemetim. They can bring a dead person alive. They say they don't want to live during that darkness that there is in the world, the period of time that we live in now. Yateh velo yahmene. I don't want to live in that time. It's too difficult. It's too horrible to see what's going to happen in the world. But they say, how you can survive? Ma ya'aseh Adam, Hazal asking, in the same page, in the same Gemara. V'yinatzel miheblo shel Mashiach. How can I survive those difficult times? How can I going to survive physically, morally, those difficult times? Ya'asok b'Torah. A person should make the Torah his business. Learn Torah. Ubigmilut hasadim. That means learn Torah, do mitzvot, then do kindness. And I explained that earlier. Kindness, it's not just to help one each other. The kindness is that we should live one with each other with kindness. That means in unity. I don't have to agree with your opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion. But we need to respect each other. And that's Gmilut Hasadim, to help others and to respect others. And at the moment that we do those things, that Am Israel will be enough smart to take that situation, to utilize what Hazal tell us in the Gemara, then we're going to be redeemed. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to redeem us before we even understand. Before we have a choice, HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to redeem us. And that's the secret of the planet of Venus. And inside the planet of Venus that called the sixth window, that's the sixth planet, there is a star-like that's called Gizron. And how does it fit with all what we learned today about our cousin? Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will merit us to learn, to teach Torah, to do kindness in the world, to live in peace and unity together. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will say, enough. Enough is enough for the chores that nation had. Will send us Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our days, and we'll see with our own eyes the building of the third Bet HaMikdash. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. Rabotai, if you want to ask question regarding the subject that we spoke today, the sixth planet, the star-like of Gizron and Bnei Ishmael, Bechavod.
Harav? Stephen, how's it, Rav?
Erev Tov, Stephen. Ma shlomcha? How are you?
Baruch
How are
Hashem and yourself. Baruch Hashem, Rav. Question
Sorry,
is...
I needed just to...
No, please.
To drink something, because, you know, when I talk for over an hour...
you need it.
Ken,
you're going to be grateful for the water and the tea, Rav. What can you say?
Ken, bechavod.
So, Rav, the question is, unfortunately, there are people, even amongst our own, who don't agree with our. How can we respect those sort of people? How can because those who hate Hashem, we must hate them.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to speak about it, and I was afraid that you're going to ask, not you personally, I didn't know that you're going to ask, but I was afraid that someone going to ask that question. But I tell you what the Zohar said. The Zohar
Because I
said
know
in
people
Parashat,
are out there,
the
unfortunately.
Zohar in Parashat Bereshit, on Sefer Bereshit, Parashat Bereshit, he said that in the end of days, באחרית הימים, יהיו מערב רב, will be from the multination that left Egypt, those people that left Egypt, that they're going to be in control of Eretz Israel. That means they're going to rule Eretz Israel.
But not only in Israel, but outside Israel as well. And people who are relatives of yours.
Rega. He said that they're going to be in control of Eretz Israel. You know, in a gymnasia, in one of the high school in Tel Aviv, a boy wanted to put tefillin last week.
I heard of that. Yeah.
It was a havoc by the principal.
Yeah.
You know what they done to him? Mm-hmm. The following day, come a singer and few other people, and Dafka they put tefillin and they march. So the only way that we can fight them, they have the rules. They got the koach now. They're in control. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given them that. We have to fight them with the tools that we have. We're not going to fight them physically, because we're not going to win them physically. You saw what the referendum caused to the Jewish people. We've been almost annihilated. That was the plan. They have enough food to enter until Be'er Sheva. Enough weapon. Imagine. Yeah. So Hazal said, first of all, you have to understand that. How are we going to win it? If we have to convince every Jew that you have to be proud that you're a Jew.
But some of them you don't want to hear.
A war of religious. They don't want. I can't force them. They're gonna die. Those that gonna die in a plague of darkness, Kemetzetcha me'eret Mitzrayim arenu niflaot. Rabotai, the miracle that we're gonna see when the Mashiach comes, gonna be 50 times more than what they have in Yetziat Mitzrayim when they left Egypt. So we have to understand that what's going to happen, and the Rambam say, when I said the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, the Maimonides, he born in the city of Cordova 888, 9 years ago, in Spain. He said, Lo neda ma yeh ad sheyeh. We're not going to know what's going to happen until it's happened. And how's it going to happen? We can imagine from what the commentaries say. But to know exactly how HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to do it, only the tzaddikim know. Now to your question. So how are we going to deal with that? You have to deal with that as a Jew. For example, we see what's happening in our country here. They're supporting a terrorist group.
100%.
The only way that we can win them, not by fighting. Am Israel nikret tolaat Israel. Tolaat. What it means, tolaat, a worm. What the power of the worm? By Hamas, by davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If we, the member that love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we call ourselves religions, gonna get united and daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the rest is in his hand.
Because
what, you think HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't know that will be that certain people amongst you? The prophet already said that. Meharsaich umachrivaich mimech yitz'u. Those that gonna destroy you, okay, and break you, it's from your own nation. And we saw it. All our history. Our job as a Jewish people to be strong, to be united, to continue with Torah and mitzvot and chasadim.
Because my view on some people that I know, I actually say I don't want to know them. I don't want to hear their name in my presence. Those sort of those people.
And then what? Okay. Let's say that. But then what? Then what?
Well, I don't know what, as you say, you can govern, but you, because you're not going to convince them. They believe that what the nation that nation is doing is right, and they good people.
Okay. I'm not arguing. But then what?
I don't know what from there, but
leave them, Stephen.
Yeah, that's what I say. Leave them. I don't want to know them.
Why is our job to change the world? Our job is not to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
Our job is to be light to the nation.
Mm-hmm. Let's get our job and don't worry about them.
Listen to me. There's a difference between us and to other countries. Other nations want to convert us. We don't want to convert anyone. As a matter of fact, when someone comes to convert, it's going through a hard process. Hard process. We're not missionaries. So it's not for us to change them. We're here to be light to the world. But before you become light to the world, you have to believe in Torah, in mitzvot. You have to do mitzvot. You have to do kindness with people, to help people, to live in unity. When they're going to see that you are, first of all, live in peace, in harmony together, they
won't be able to teach us.
Keeping the word of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and keeping mitzvot, then they're going to treat us differently. You understand me?
I got you.
So it's not for us to go and try to change ANC. It's not for me, because you're not going to listen. But I have to be the light to the world.
I'm not talking about the other nations. I'm talking about, unfortunately, within ourselves.
It's vice versa.
Same thing.
No, absolutely. If I show the people in Eretz Israel or the people that the Jews hear that they don't want to hear, that I'm strong in my faith. I'm strong in my faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mm-hmm. I live with peace and harmony one with each other. And I show them how a Jewish person should live. That would change the situation. How many people in Israel now change their mind? How many of the left? They say that the media mislead them. How many? Thousands and thousands of Jewish people in Eretz Israel say we regret what we done. We regret that we fell to the trap of the media.
Yeah.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
I get you, Rav. I get you.
That's how
my father wants to say something, I think. Norman wants to say something.
Norman? Hello? Norman? כן, Norman, בכבוד. Norman? Norman, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You wanted to say something, Norman?
I've got a problem with this. My computer is doing funny things. What? I can't.
Let's see.
I can hear you. Can you?
I can hear you. No, yes, I can hear you.
I'm having some trouble with my phone. I'm just trying to get it
right. See. You wanted to add up something?
I don't want it to do.
You wanted to add up something? You wanted to say something?
Funny things here. I can't see anybody. I can hardly hear you, so I don't know what.
See. Okay, I'm sorry.
I just want to say, that was. I just want to say it's a big Yeshua. That was both frightening and
There's nothing to be afraid. It's nothing to be afraid, Norman.
Tell you, a big Yeshua.
Thank you. There's nothing to be afraid. You keep the Torah, you keep mitzvot. It's going to be okay. Yes, Frank, I see Frank. Frank, you unmute yourself. You want to say something? Bechavot, Frank.
Yes, Rabbi, I just one or two questions. In all the generations that have come before us, what merits our generation? You know, we're not the generations of past. What merits our generation to have this chus to bring the Mashiach?
Oh, beautiful question. Beautiful question. I had a question about it. And I'm going to give you an answer and analogy, and then you understand.
Okay.
In the time of Avraham Avinu, the Mashiach didn't come. In the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, we explain on Shabbos that for 7 days, Moshe Rabbeinu argued with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He didn't want to take that mission to go and redeem the Jewish people. Because he said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if I'm going to redeem them, I want to redeem them once and for all. He didn't succeed. And then in a generation of the Tanaim, the generation of the prophet, the generation of the Geonim, the Mashiach didn't come. So how come in our generation that it's so low, it's going to come? I'll answer you. When a person builds a building, what the first thing that you have to do? Dig a foundation. To pour a foundation. You agree with me?
Yes, yes.
After that, you have to build the wall. Nachon?
Yeah.
After he build the wall, he start to put the door frame, the window frame. Am I right?
Right.
Then you have to plaster the wall. Then you have to put a roof. The last thing that you have to do is the finishes. After he tiled, after everything.
Right.
Painting and everything. We are the generation of the finishing.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
I understand, yes.
That every generation has to do something to bring the Mashiach closer.
Okay.
Avraham Avinu and the fourth father was the foundation for the nation. Chesed, Gvura, and the Talmud Torah. What does it mean? That Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov Avinu, Ishtam Yoshev Ohalim. That was the foundation. Then come the different generation that start building the Torah, the explanation of the Torah, the prophet, the kings. After that come the generation that already finished to build the wall, start putting the frame, the windows. After that come the generation that interpreted the Torah, Torah Shebe'al Peh, that was already plastering, putting the roof together. Come the final generation that's us, that we lower, the lowest, but we're doing the finish.
Right.
We're doing the finishing to the building. We're the one that painting the building. We're the one that cleaning the building, preparing to give the key. That's our generation.
Okay.
Which means that every generation in a Jewish history have a job to do.
Right. Thank you. One other question. Yeah.
Okay, bechavod.
One other question. I don't know if you heard the phenomenon about the sparrow problem, whatever it is. In China, they decided that all the sparrows were eating up all the crops. Okay? So they had to get rid of thousands and thousands and thousands of sparrows until there were no sparrows left. But then they found they had a tremendous famine. Why? Because the sparrows were not only eating the crops, but they were eating the insects, the locusts, and everything like that. They used to attack the crops. So then afterwards, they had a tremendous drought for the next another 3 months, worse than that. So it said in this article that this what might be happening in the case with the South African, with the court, that it's our case for South Africa, for Israel, to now present to the world what is really happening, because they didn't agree. Whether we win or we don't, I don't know. But it's the way that we can present to the world what actually happened, because the world has forgotten.
Well, let me explain to you.
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, from my point of view. I can't
Right.
speak about the name of everyone. I can speak
Yeah.
in my name.
Right.
Hazal tell us, Kol de'avid rahmana letav avid. The Gemara say, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu do, He's doing it for good.
Right.
What does it mean? If we didn't have 7th of October, Simchat Torah, we don't know what's going to happen to our nation.
Right.
We were so divided.
Correct.
Just look clearly. The Hamas put their own camera on themselves to show the cruelty.
Mm.
We didn't tell them to put the camera. They decided on their own mission and their own accord. Today, Israel took it to show the world who they are. You understand?
Yes.
Everything working the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed what's happening in the world is all in a mystery. He doesn't show it as a miracle because we're not the generation that we're going to see miracle.
Right.
But he's doing it in a way that he's showing us that, listen, everything you maybe don't see it, okay? You can't clearly see it, but I'm behind the scene. I'm in control.
Right.
So if we think that it's hard, sorry, I'm just connecting my plug here. Okay. If we're thinking that anyone else can change anything, we have a big mistake. Everything in the hand of Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Absolutely.
Everything that is doing is on our own benefit.
Right.
So the story of Hag, with Hag, without Hag, say Hag. In Hebrew, you call it Hag. The Hague situation, not going to change anything in our life. Believe me.
Okay. Thanks, Rabbi. Thank you for a wonderful
We
share.
just have to be strong and in our faith. I hope that you enjoyed the show, Frank.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rabbi.
Sure. Thank you. Any other question, Rabotai? Someone else? Who want to ask question?
Yes, Rav.
Wait.
I'd like to.
Oh,
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Hello there. How you doing?
Baruch Hashem.
Rav, there's so much food for thought. It's very hard to just pick one little subject out and one little spot. But I'd like to you mentioned that in Egypt, we reached the 49th level of Tumah. That we were taken out because we got the 50th level. We don't know what type of disaster that we won't have no clue what it's going to be. My question is to you, because you've said us that because we have the Torah, we have the opportunity to be able to prevent it, we're going to hit it. My question, are we not in it now?
We are in it.
We're in the 50th now.
We are in the 50th. We are in the 50th gate. There's no question. That's what you see. But there's darkness in the world. What the darkness? That you have doubt. We all have doubt. What is happening? How can it be that a nation like South Africa, no one would look at them, took us to The Hague? Who was behind that? Qatar. Qatar put the money. How can it be like a place, small place, of Southwest Africa can go against Germany? How can it be that the world don't see what's happened?
The MS.
They don't want to see it.
No.
Why? Because we are in the 50th gate. The Torah is the tools to help us to believe, not them. Not the going, to us. It's to us to understand. How can it be that in Eretz Israel, sitting a guy, I don't want to mention his name, and he said, what we're doing, we're actually killing people. But you're living in Eretz Israel, you're a member of the Knesset, you're a Jewish person, you call yourself. He called himself a Jewish. Do you have a Jewish name? So how can it be? That's the emunah. Those that gonna believe, those that yasku b'Torah ubigmilut chasadim, they're gonna survive the time. Those that gonna have the emunah, the faith in Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
This is the test. The Torah is the tools. Torah is a manual to help us to deal with situation, teach us how to overcome difficulties. Because the word Torah is a manual. That's what Torah means. Torah is a manual.
Yes.
It's the Torah gonna give us a tool to understand and how to overcome those difficulties. Those that want to use the manual, they're more than welcome. Those that think that they know better, then let's wait and see where they're gonna be. What's gonna happen with them? We learn in this coming parsha, in Parashat Bo, in the 9 plagues in Makat Hoshech, we learn that more than 80% of the children of Israel been punished.
Yeah.
You follow?
Yeah.
So that those that believe in Hakadosh Baruch Hu, those that have the faith and believe Moshe Rabbeinu about the Almighty, merit to leave Egypt. Those that didn't want, they die in the darkness. Today we have the Torah, we have the manual. I'll tell you more deep. As I'll say that all of that generation gonna come, the Zohar HaKadosh, in Parashat Noah, tell us that the generation of Dora Mabul, Dora Palaga, will come by Dora Haram, and the final generation. And if you look what's happening in Dora Mabul and what's happening in our Parsha, and door of Lot, a door of Sdom V'Amorah, all of that generation coming in the last generation, in our generation. Murder, robbery, immorality, from all different things. It's all over the world. We have it in this generation. It's all mixed in a final generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parashat Noah. Remember the Zohar in Parashat Noah speak about it.
Right.
So
Right.
here we are.
Yeah. We've actually, it's a replication. When Hashem created the world, I mean, he had certain regrets, would you say? He had certain regrets. Didn't mean to say it hadn't to be done, because what Hashem does, it's done for a reason at the time, and then he created it. But so there's certain times you're convinced of something, and something doesn't always go to plan. And how do we know that?
No,
because
no. I have to stop you. Not going according to
not
plan.
But okay.
That
I'd like to
let me give you knowledge. Let me give you example. A father, when he give a smack to his little boy or to his boy when he's naughty, he regret that he done it, but he have to do it. Because if the father say or the mother say to the boy, listen, don't jump on the mat. You're wearing clean clothes, and he jumps, the mother give him a puts on the toes. She not enjoying it. She not enjoying it. She have to educate him. And that's what Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Sukkah Nun Bet Amud Bet. Arba'a Kadosh Baruch Hu regret that he have to create him. What does it mean? The same like a boy naughty, and the father give him a pot on the toes.
Okay, so Rob, that's one aspect.
You
The
understand?
Yes, but the aspect which I'm trying to say is when Hashem created the world, he made male and female and sent them out in the world. And it got worse and worse and worse, like it is now. And it got to the time of Noah, and Hashem did destroy the world, and he did do it. And this is what I'm comparing. We've gone downhill to this situation again. The world has got to the exact same situation as it was before Noah. So
did you ask yourself why? Did you ask yourself why?
I'm asking you
That's
why.
called Yeridat HaDorot. In Hebrew, we call it Yeridat HaDorot.
Right.
That means that the generation gonna get degraded.
Yeah.
That from the each side. Why? Because the people got influenced from the nation.
Yeah. Yeah. Rob, the last thing,
Chabad.
is which is just an observation which I like to
Yes,
explain,
yes,
because
yes.
my wife's an astrologer, so you brought up something very, very critical with Gizron, with Venus, and Venus and the star of Venus, which is shining bright, and it's making a tremendous influence of confusion in the world. It's making a lot of things which are based in are negative. It's happening. Do you know that when Shabbos comes out, or he comes out, and you look up into the sky, you will see the first star, you will see the brightness is now Venus. It's been like this for this generation. It's the first star, and it's the brightest. You'll always see it's the star in the sky before the other star, 6 or 7 minutes before it comes out. You will see Gizron. You will see Venus, the light shining from it, having an influence over the world. It's happening now.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was foretold
And
how many years ago? 2,000 years ago.
2,500 years ago.
2,500.
Been written. How long they knew about it? Adam HaRishon knew about it from the first day.
Yeah, yeah.
How many stars there is in the world? We can't count.
Oh, no. It's beyond.
We have 7 planets in the world.
Yes.
We now on a 6th planet, Venus, that have a tremendous influence on what's happening in the world.
Correct.
But now the starlight of Gizron starting to play the show.
Yes. Look, all the other planets are still, the energies of all the other planets are still affecting us. Everything affects us. Hashem's created it that way. That's why there's seasons, the things are in and out. But the overwhelming thing at the moment is the power of Israel.
That's it. That means that there is good in the world. There is goodness in the world.
Yes.
It's just that the starlight of Gizron is a bit more powerful, but we can weaken it.
Yeah, are learning.
That means if we entered many stars, maybe I should do a show on astrology. You're gonna love it.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for this. It was very fascinating and gives a lot of food for thought. There's so much to. Thank you.
I want to ask a question.
Good.
Another question.
Any other question? Yes.
Yes, Rav Stephen.
Yes.
Rav, I want to ask a question. Why is it peculiar to Venus that all this is happening and Gizron? What is the characteristic of Venus in terms of
Venus?
influences that it has?
So let me explain to you. Shabbat, the starlight of Shabbat is Ma'adim.
Is what?
Ma'adim, Mars, Ma'adim.
Yes.
In Hebrew. Ma'adim is a starlight that whatever you do in Shabbos, you're not going to see any luck.
Yeah.
And that's where the energy of Mars getting affected. Now, people think that they make money on Shabbos, but in the end, they lose it all.
Yeah.
That's mean Ma'adim is a starlight of havoc.
Yeah.
You understand?
I got
Stephen,
it. Yes.
Are you with me?
I got it, Rav. So
I mean, people can work on a Saturday. They can make a lot of money on Saturday, but they're going to lose it where? By fixing they're fixing up they need to change the washing machine, the fridge, the car. They're going to lose it all. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I got that.
When come Venus
Venus, yes.
Venus has a certain energy. Okay, that's the sixth planet. Okay, in Venus, in the planet of Venus, we have a starlock. We have a starlock that's called Gizron, and many of the people don't speak about this starlock. They don't like to speak about it.
Sorry.
Not many of the people that speak about astrology, the mystical rabbi, don't want to speak about this starlock because it's a difficult starlock, very confusing.
Yes.
And not many people actually mention it. They actually don't mention it. Beseder, Stephen?
God, but also don't we say that the Jews are above all the astrological? I know that there
still
are
affects the world.
but don't we say that Jews?
Israel מעל
But it affects
המזל.
the world, I suppose. Yes.
אין מזל לישראל. אין מזל לישראל. בסדר?
Yes.
גמרא מסכת סנהדרין. בסדר? Okay, Stephen?
I have to speak to you after the sound is my voice. So it's my signal is very bad. I'm sorry.
I'm saying אין מזל לישראל. אין מזל לישראל. ישראל מעל המזל. גמרא מסכת סנהדרין.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Anthony, I see that you wanted to ask a question. Anthony, you unmuted yourself. Bechavod, you're waiting.
Hello?
Yes, Anthony.
Anthony, how are you?
Baruch Hashem, and you.
The Lubavitcher Rebbe, all right, the Lubavitcher Rebbe said it will be good in South Africa until the Mashiach comes. What did he mean by that? The Lubavitcher Rebbe said it will be good in South Africa until the Mashiach comes. What did he mean?
So I'll tell you what he said. Koppel Bachar, I have the video. Koppel Bachar gone to visit him in 1994. Tell him that the Jewish jury worried about what's going to happen after the election. So the Rebbe said to him, it will be good until, but tell the Jewish people not to worry, it will be good in South Africa until the Mashiach comes, and even better after the Mashiach comes. What is the Rebbe meant? Listen, I can't answer what the Rebbe meant. You know, I can tell you what I think what he meant. It means that for the Jewish people, compared to other countries in the world,
yes,
it's going to be much better. If you look, Nahon, that South Africa took us to The Hague. But the anti-Semitism in Europe, beyond understanding. Beyond understanding. You can't walk in England, or in Australia, or in France with a yummy on your head, or in Germany, or in Belgium.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
I think that's what he meant. But I can't speak in the name of the Rebbe. The Rebbe was a great man. We don't understand the Rebbe. We far from understanding the Lubavitcher Rebbe. But one thing I can tell you, it didn't mean that it's going to be easier here. No, it's not. Because it's not easy for us here. But compared to others, we're going to be in a much better place. I can tell you one thing that I think.
Thanks very much.
Speaking about myself, because this country friendly with the Hamas, I hope that, please God, we're not going to have terrorist attack on this country like they have all over the world. That you hear that they're shooting, stabbing all over the world. You follow? That's my personal interpretation. More than that, a concern. Beseder, Antonio.
Yes, thanks very much.
Pleasure, pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai? No. In that case, I would like, first of all, to thank you all for joining us. I know that it's almost 20 to 10, almost 20 to 10. I hope that you enjoyed the show. I hope that you benefit from it. Next week, Be'ezrat Hashem, next Sunday, I'm going to do a show about Tu B'Shvat because next Thursday it's Tu B'Shvat, and on Thursday we do Parashat Shavua. So please God, next Sunday I'm going to speak about Tu B'Shvat. What is the replication of Tu B'Shvat is to us as a Jewish people, how we as Jewish people look at Tu B'Shvat, what does it mean to us? And we, Be'ezrat Hashem, tackle Tu B'Shvat. But in the meantime, I would like to take the opportunity, first of all, to wish each one of you a beautiful week ahead. Shavua Tov to all of you. A safe week to Kol Am Israel, to all the Jewish people, wherever they are, in Eretz Israel, in the diaspora. And not only that, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will protect and guard the member of the Israeli Defense Force, the member of the security forces in Israel. And not only that, that we're going to give, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give the right decision to the ministers that running the land of Eretz Israel to do the right thing. And
Amen.
to dedicate this shiur for the health of all the sick people, all the injured people in Eretz Israel, Be'ezrat Hashem.
Amen.
So I would like to thank you very much. I hope that you enjoy the show. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you very much. Good
Sure.
night.
Thank you. Good night. Shavua Tov.
Night. Thank you. Shavua Tov. All the
Thank you.